I probably just absorbed somewhere, like calories when they go out of... Tonight, almost live, it's America Tonight. 30 minutes of TV on the UBS network. Located on the UBS Broadcasting Mall in El Tacoma, California. The unfinished furniture capital of the world. With Tommy and Tina, who can sing to make you cry. Irene Huddleston, who pickets motel rooms. Mr. Jim Nabors, whose life will flash before his very eyes with the music of Happy Kind and the Mirthmakers. And me, I'm Jerry Hubbard. Hi, everybody. And now your host and mine, Mr. Mark Gimbel.
Excuse me. Hi. Good evening and welcome again to America Tonight. I'm Boris Kimball. Okay, thanks. You guys, I guess you all know what I do on my Monday through Friday evenings. I earn my reputation as the hardest working man in talk shows. But a lot of people, I'm sure, have been wondering what I do on the weekends, on the nights when I don't have my hands full helping to make Americans the best entertained people on earth. Well, of course, sometimes I'm out with the disco crowd, hustling up a storm, or even better, out with a woman. But some nights I prefer the quiet relaxation of home, and then I guess I'm just a lot like you. I'll barbecue a steak or something, relax with a bottle of wine, maybe after dinner curl up with a good book. Last Saturday, for example, I just sat quietly and got very absorbed in a compelling novel. It may have been a novella, actually. I'm not sure. Novelette? I don't know. Anyway, it was good, and it investigated the situation of a young woman alone on an isolated Marine base and her attempts to befriend several groups of soldiers in a limited amount of time. It was fascinating. Actually, quite a touching experience, Ray, I must admit. And to tell you the truth, I couldn't put it down until I finished. So I forget the name of the book, but fine book. Anyway, I finished it, I guess, about 11. Right. It was around 11 because that's when the long-distance rates get more realistic. So I got on the old phone, and I woke up some friends back east, and we talked for a while about my career and some investments and had kind of a stimulating little mini debate about the legal definitions of securities fraud. It was fascinating. And then just to close the evening on a kind of quietly mellow note, another couple of bottles of wine, and then to bed. Or at least to sleep. I forget exactly where I was when I decided to lose consciousness. But anyway, that was it. Just a quiet evening at home. So the next time you think everybody in Hollywood or nearby is out there just carousing around and playing around and swinging, see if you can find out where exactly they are. And call me here at the network, okay? Thank you. Here's our co-host and announcer, Mr. Jerry Hubbard. How are you, Jerry?
Fine. What do your friends say when you call them at 11 o'clock at night? That's about 2 in the morning back east.
Well, someone will say, good morning. That's kind of funny.
Or another thing, they might say, do you know what time it is? And then you tell them, well, it's 11:05.
and then they say it's 3, and then we get to talking about the time zones. And
I love jokes like that. Every once in a while, you know, it's a good joke. You call a cigar, a tobacco store and say, do you have Prince Albert in a can? And they say, yes. And then you say, okay, I'll come down to buy some tomorrow. It drives them crazy because they think you're going to do the old joke about, remember those jokes? But you say, you got him in a can? Yeah. I'd say, okay, I'll come down and pick up a couple of cans tomorrow. Drives them mad. Are you the lady who washes? And she says, no. And say, oh, you dirty thing.
Yeah, we got a big show tonight. Yeah. What do we have next? Actually, I think we have 2 youngsters. They sing country music. They wear cute little outfits. And, all right, sounds like the act has some promise, even if they don't. And you have my promise it'll be short, okay? Actually, so are they. They're only 8 years old, so they're short. Please welcome Tommy and Tina, the Country Cousins.
drink your ale. Go play your play, you TikTok, get rid and make a big move out your tail. We're going to Jackson. Go comb your hair. We're going to Snowball Jackson. See it back here. When I breeze into that city, people gonna stop and bow. Ha! All the women gonna lick me, teach them what they don't know how. I'm going to Jackson, turn you loose on my coat, 'cause I'm going to Jackson. Goodbye's all she wrote.
Come on over and sit down, kids. How about it, huh? Whoa-wee, that was just great. And I love those outfits you kids have on. I remember I was always a kick when I was a kid. You know,
Yeah.
we'd get dressed up like cowboys and cowgirls, and every time we were back in the Old West and stuff. You must be having a ball, huh?
We prefer Darth Vader t-shirts. Star Wars, of course, is also fantasy and escapism, but at least it's futuristic. It doesn't dwell into the distorted past, like cowboys.
Tell me then, why do you wear these clown-like outfits? Then?
Our dad,
Your dad made you?
our dad makes us wear them. He says they go with the music.
Oh, I see. Listen, certainly are almost charming, as kids sometimes almost are. Do you plan to make show business your life, or the rest of it, or whatever, however short a life that may be, or short a career?
We'd like to use television to earn enough money to go to medical school. We believe television offers bland and superficial entertainment and glorifies the mediocre.
Wait a minute. You can't just make blanket statements like that, blanket judgments about all television shows that way.
Okay, then talk shows. Take the guests, for instance. They're all the same. Kids like us with no particular talent or commitment. But if you're buying, we're selling.
We don't mean to be disrespectful, Mr. Gimbal.
We're sure that you, for instance, are as good as you're capable of being. But you are nevertheless redundant.
We'll be back after these words. Stay with us. A lot of people think that morals in this country are going right down the porcelain container, and that TV is to blame. On the cop shows, somebody's always crushing someone else's head like a grape, or some girl is always shedding her clothes with her back to the camera, that kind of thing.
And sometimes those girls turn right around and face the camera, too.
Cherry, when have you ever seen a girl turn around and face the camera that way?
Well, Happy and I have a cable TV, and there's a show on. It's called Frontal Nudity House Party. And not that we make a point of watching, but it's right there on the TV, or you can hardly miss it.
What time?
It's about 2:30 in the morning.
So it's practically unavoidable, isn't it?
Yeah, and you don't get too good a reception, but if you put a blanket over your head and over the TV set to block out any light, you can get a pretty good...
It's in black and white or color?
Well, it's kind of gray and white on our set, so it comes and goes, but you can get...
On your set, do you have any color shows on your set?
I don't... Either we don't have a color set, or all the shows are black and white that we get.
It sounds like you don't have a color set.
It may be. The guy who sold it to us says they don't make color pictures anymore anyway, so, you know, you get home and find out a lot of them are still in color.
Or maybe you could borrow the monitor here on the weekends or something so you could watch those golf tournaments you love so. Listen, our next guest, getting back to the morals and the TV problem, thinks she knows what's to blame for this trend, and she's trying to stop it. Please welcome Mrs. Irene Huddleston.
How are you?
It's Jerry, yes. This is Irene. I'm Bart.
Kids smell trouble and they made a getaway there. Probably going to throw out those comic books or whatever.
Who knows? Mrs. Huddleston, are you one of those ones who actually goes out and pickets the TV stations to stop all this sex and violence?
Oh, no, Barth. I don't have time to waste on TV. The problem is, as I see it, in the books children read, and one book in particular.
I know what you mean, actually. I think this goes for all of us when we were kids. The kids get their hands on Mom and Dad's little private library, and look out. They dog-ear all the right pages, that kind of thing, and or just look for the ones that Mom and Dad dog-eared. And used to be Peyton Place. What is it now? Joy of Sex?
No, the book I am referring to is the sexiest, most violent book in the world.
Ooh. Which is?
The Bible.
Uh-oh. There goes our switchboard. In fact, I'm going to take this right off the hook right now. Try and reach us. Listen, hey, why not? We're into it now. Mrs. Huddleston, do I understand what you're saying is that you are against the Bible?
Oh, no, certainly not. But the Bible is strictly for mature audiences. Why do you think there were Bibles in all the hotel rooms? Right next to the bed.
I think I understand what you're saying. You read a few Psalms, you turn on the magic fingers, and it's party time, hats and horns, that kind of thing, right? Okay?
Well, you see, children take the Bible very literally. And that is why we have decided to clean it up with our group called Save Our Bible.
Or SOB for short. All right, give us the SOB story then.
Well, you see, we have come up with a version of the Bible which deletes all references to sex and violence. They're strictly removed.
How long is this new Bible then?
31 pages.
There it is. That's great. Now, don't some of the stories lose a little bit of their punch? I mean, how do you handle a story like, let's say, well, Adam and Eve running around in the Altogether, or that kind of thing?
Oh, well, you see, in our book, it doesn't really matter because they're brother and sister.
Okay, but in the original, they eat the forbidden fruit, and, as I recall, are ashamed for that they are naked.
Oh, well, now they are ashamed for that they have dandruff.
Okay, Adam and Eve got here innocently enough, but how do you explain all the other people being born? He begat her, she begat him, a lot of begatting.
Oh, well, we replaced all the begats with a few begosh and begoras.
Very sneaky, so no one begins the begin or begats the bedevil under the begonia bush. I love to say a lot of bees in one long row. What you do, you just hold your mouth in the same way and think of as many words as you can that begin with B.
Button up, boobala.
Yeah.
In our Bible, birth is always by immaculate conception. Okay. We figured that if you can buy that story once, you can buy it again.
Listen, what about the, well, one that really hit home to a lot of people as far as exciting goes, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah?
We replaced that with Simon and Garfunkel.
And, of course, that's good for the kids. Noah's Ark, where he took the animals on 2 by 2. You might be in trouble.
Oh, no, now he takes them on 1 by 1.
Not exactly what you call Love Boat. And that really is for children. So, what if the person, let's say if the person lives the life of a sinner, some people do, I bet he does not know, where he's going to end up. Does he know the name of the place where he goes?
Oh, he goes to heck. But, you see, the whole body does not burn in heck. It just has heartburn for a little while.
Okay. So in your version, heck turns out to be a Mexican restaurant. Mrs. Huddleston, I'm sure probably a microscopic portion of our audience right now is really behind you on this thing. Good luck to you. Especially want to wish good luck to your children. I think they're going to need it. You're giving new meaning to the term good book and no meaning at all for most of the old one. I frankly think that it's about as practical a thing to have around as this ashtray. Okay? Oh, it didn't work. We'll be right back. So long. Special guest star, Mr. Jim Nabors, is going to be with us. Okay? Now, as you know, Jim is a talk show host himself, so you may very well ask yourself why a talk show host would want to go on another talk show. Well, that's a good question. In fact, those were Jim's exact words when we called him. You might say, well, maybe he'd do it for the money. Wrong, because there is none. Okay, maybe for the free gift necktie, 100% pure silk and hand-painted by the Countess Andrea Boutique right here in the Altacoa Mall. Wrong again. So we offered to do a special segment called This Is Your Life, Jim Nabors, and Jim jumped at the chance to see some old friends. So please welcome a man who's a new friend of ours, and we hope an old friend someday, Mr. Jim Nabors. It looks just like him. It is him. Welcome to America Tonight.
Well, it's my pleasure, Bart, because, in my career so far, I've been able to do, a lot of original and creative shows. And
sure have.
This kind of offers a nice change of pace, I mean, what I mean is if you're going to be redundant, and not original, at least make sure that the ideas that you steal are good ones. You've stolen a real barn burner with this, This Is Your Life. I love it. It's great.
Well, Jim, let's get started with a trip down memory lane back to your hometown, and we look this up.
I love
of
this.
Sylacauga, Alabama? Sylacauga, Alabama.
Right.
Think back, if you will, we found that out, to when you were just a kid and listen to this voice.
Hi, Jim. Do you remember the Jefferson Hotel?
Yeah.
Do you remember Stimson's department store?
Sure do. Yeah.
Great.
Do you remember the bus terminal downtown by the post office?
I really do, yeah.
Do you recognize this voice?
No?
Well, Jim,
No,
why don't you come on out? This is Art Kramer, who several years ago drove the Gray Line bus right through Chicago, Alabama.
Well, I only drove the Sylacauga route a couple of weeks back in '68.
This is Jim.
Jim who?
Jim Nabors, our special guest.
Well, you mean you're not the big star around here?
No.
Well, you should be. You look like a real star.
Thank you. We have another mystery guest. Listen to this voice. This is going to knock you off your pins.
Hello, Jim. I've got him in green, orange, and rust. Take your pick.
What do you think of that mystery voice, Jim?
Oh, I think it's still a mystery.
Okay.
I don't... No, I'm sorry.
Still?
No?
All right. Well, we didn't expect you to know this one, actually, because it's the voice of Andrea herself, the Countess Andrea Boutique, who makes her necktie.
Yes, and for you, Jim, this 100% pure silk, hand-painted tie by Countess Andrea herself, right here in El Tacoma. Countess Andrea, the place to come when you're fit to be tied.
Thank you very much.
That's Countess Andrea's boutique right here on the UBS Mall. Just tell him Andrea sent you.
Thank you very
Great.
much.
And you needed one. That's terrific. Jim, are you ready for your next mystery guest? Listen to this voice.
Let me give you a hint, honey. Stop. Take a left. Take a hard right. And first empty space in the corner.
Wait a minute now. That voice is familiar. Let me think now. I said, do I have to park myself?
And I said, I don't park them, honey. I just points to the empty space.
I know this one. I got it.
That's
I got
right.
this one.
That's right, Jim. It is our parking lot attendant here at UBS, the lovely Miss Winnie Jackson. Winnie, come on in.
I've been looking for you all day. You left your parking ticket.
Well, actually, I was in kind of a hurry.
Hey, we all got things to do in life. But if you got to do them in a car, you got to follow the rules. And on this lot, get me? Listen to me now.
I got you.
On this lot, I am the ruler, and you are the rulee.
I think that's wonderful, and only in America could that happen.
The rules apply to everybody, Jerky.
She got my name wrong. No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
They apply to everybody, whether you be Kunta Kinte, the president, or just a plain old ordinary nothing like them guys over there on the machine.
Now that we're all here, it's like a sort of a big family reunion. I'm sure it's a thrill. I know you've got millions of things to talk about, so The stage is yours. Go to it. Old friends, this is kind of nice.
You got a lot of height in the business. You can probably do something terrific. About 6'2". Look a lot fuller. Got the right hair for this.
Yeah, and what I'm doing, I'm taking some acting lessons now. Studying makeup and a little dance. That's very important.
Have you got any chance to do something?
Go all right.
Jim, you took the words right out of my mouth. What do you think of your mystery guest, Jim?
Well, I tell you, it's almost been a little fun for me. Almost. I think the idea of, you know, this is your life is very nice, and whose ever life you just did with all these people here, I wish them a lot of luck, and, you know, I really do. But as for me, I really got a rehearsal to go to, and I really want to thank you all very much, though. It was very thoughtful.
It was a great pleasure.
Jerry. And
It's nice of you to come on the show.
yeah.
Probably gave you some things to think Thank you, Happy. Nice try. I can't think of a thing to say. Good night.
Tonight, some members of our studio audience will receive the following: classic curves from Dittos, the Feel the Fit Company, pants to make every woman feel beautiful in sizes 3 to 13 and 8 to 18, and a gift certificate from Lillian Vernon's catalog. Jewelry, gifts, decor, personalized items, and things from practical to whimsical. And Chapstick Lip Balm keeps wind and cold away from your lips, keeps natural moisture in, and helps heal chapped lips too. Chapstick Lip Balm.
Tonight at 11 on Monty Python, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart hosts an amateur hour, and Genghis Khan gets 28.1% votes. And next, it's our feature, April in Paris.
Sue Ann Gill Fillen as Irene Huddleston, Judy Ann Mason as Winnie Jackson, Jeremy Stevens as Art Kramer, Barbara Kennedy as Rose Walker, Karen Haber as Countess Andrea, and a special guest appearance by Mr. Jim Nabors.
Well, Jerry,